Assalamu alaikum everyone. This playlist which I am going to create is about the subject of corporate governance. I thought that I will create a short videos and a playlist of these videos so that to help the students to understand about the subject and the key concepts which are very important and which should be discussed. So in order to get the clarity of these concepts, conceptual understanding, I thought that I will create short videos and I'll create a playlist of the subject so it will be for the benefit of the students. So the topic which today I'm going to discuss is it's very briefly I'll discuss upon this topic. This is about the approaches to the corporate governance. As we have already know about the corporate governance, that what it is about, because it is the amalgamation of two major concepts. One is governance, which is to look after, which is to control the processes and rules and regulations, and then the second part is corporate, because it means the corporation from that. I mean to say is the rules and regulations, the control regarding the within the company. We can say that it is corporate governance. For example, the mechanisms basically which we can you may use to control and direct the affairs of the corporate body or a company, so that the individuals and the collective interests of the stakeholders could be protected and could have been served in a better way. So basically, we know about what corporate governance is. We have a detailed discussion in the other videos about the subject, about the topic of corporate governance itself. What is corporate governance? The topic today, which I'm going to discuss, is about the approaches which can be used to elaborate and which can be used to describe what should be the approaches to the corporate governance, how we should take this subject of corporate governance, in what aspect. There are three basic approaches regarding the corporate governance. For example, one, as I have highlighted three of them, I have mentioned them: shareholders approach, stakeholders approach, and an enlightened approach. I'll discuss one by one and then I'll sum up the concept. The first approach is basically shareholders approach, in which we it is normally said that basically there are three parties. We must understand that in corporate governance we deal with three parties. One is the shareholder, other is party is the board of directors, and then third party is the management of the company. When we talk about the shareholders approach, it is generally believed that board of directors of the company should govern the company in the best interest of the shareholders, because shareholders are the owners of the company. They have the share in the company, they own the company. It means this approach basically uh, cause the board of directors to put more emphasis and put more weight towards the shareholders, and because they are accountable and they are answerable to the shareholders, so their interest is the prime for these board of directors. So and they make they formulate the policies, they everything which they do is with the purpose, with the vision in the back of their mind, is to protect the interest of the shareholders. So this is the thing. The protection of shareholders interest maybe could have been in the at the expense of the employees, or could have been at the expense of the workers working in the organization as well. For example, by cutting the wages, by cutting the salary head, you may increase the profitability of the shareholders, maybe, but it may benefit the shareholders, but it is at the cost of the workers working in the organization. So the focus in this approach is basically for the board of directors is to formulate such policies which could benefit the shareholders, which could only focus on the by focusing on the shareholders, so that their interest would have been maximized. All right. The second approach is basically the stakeholders approach. We know about stakeholders. Stakeholder is everybody who has interest in the shareholder, be it the creditors, be it the supplier, or anyone in the, even the user is also a stakeholder. So it is basically a pluralist approach, because there are so many parties involved with the stakeholders approach. So when we talk about the stakeholders approach to the corporate governance, in this approach, the crux is basically that board of directors should aim at formulating the policies that provide equal care of interest for all the parties which are connected to the organization, be it the customers, be it the suppliers, be it the distributors, retailers, everybody, shareholders, managers, workers, every party which has an interest, for the organization, to the organization. The board of directors make such policies which could benefit all of the stakeholders. So this is the stakeholders approach. Basically, this is an ideal approach, as it may sound, but it is not practically feasible, because the simple reason is directors are elected and accountable by the shareholders, so they have to they should be they have to answer the shareholders about their policies, and how they are managing, how they are formulating the rules and regulations. So it is recommended and it is very ideal approach, but ultimately it is not feasible. The final approach is enlightened approach. Enlightened approach basically is a compromise between the shareholders and the stakeholders approach. Basically, when you combine two approaches, it becomes enlightened approach. For example, like how it can be in this approach, in this enlightened approach, board of directors work in the best interest of the shareholders, but they do not compromise or misappropriate the interest of the other parties. For example, other stakeholders. For example, as I given you an example in the first approach, that in which I said in which I said that the directors focus on maximizing the wealth, maximizing the interest of the shareholders at the cost of, for example, the workers. By reducing their salaries, they may show their profitability increase, but it is at the cost of the workers. But in the enlightened approach, they will work for the wealth maximization of the shareholders, but they will not compromise the workers or the any other party's interest, any other stakeholders' interest apart from the shareholders.